Hello, good morning. This is Ruth Hephzibah, and you are welcome to another episode of Grief to Grace. And I just want to welcome you to this soul stirring episode, which you're really going to enjoy. You will not regret listening to this particular episode, I tell you. Just like every other episode that we've always had, and all the good comments and remarks we've gotten, and how much it has affected people's life. I'm really super excited, and I assure you, this is another very great episode and you need to listen to this one because it is another kind of grief. I tell you, this is a different kind of grief and it is in so many faces. And you need to hear. And I know it's going to affect a lot of persons who may be going through this kind of grief. So, like I said at the beginning, my name is Ruth Hephzibah, and it is my mission to guide you through from a place of feeling stuck to experiencing the feeling of embracing grace. So, we at Grief to Grace, we help you to move from pain to finding purpose in your grief. And we explore the depth of grief and we share stories in our podcast and also uncover the powerful lessons that pain can teach us. So, today, we have the privilege of having somebody who has been into another kind of grief. But before we go into that, we'll be introducing a book, which is A Pen That Rewrites Grief. It is that book that you need in this journey. This is a book that has a personal resolution with me. It resonates so much with me, and I am super glad. And I thank everyone who has been purchasing this book and sharing comments and sending me the big thumbs up for how far it has helped them. And if you know you've purchased this book, we really need more reviews from you. So send us your review with a copy of the book, and we have a gift from you. We'll send you a t-shirt like we have, like I'm wearing right now, a Grief to Grace t-shirt, and it will be sent to you for that good stuff that you've just done, gesture that you've done to grief to grace. So we need those good remarks on our Facebook pages, on our platforms. And another thing, we are introducing, we've always had it, but we noticed that people are, we're not really talking so much in that platform. We are reintroducing our group, which is Trashy Tribe. So the Trashy Tribe is for everyone who is stuck somewhere, anyone who is going through any sort. Well, there we'll be sharing real life stories. We have a whole lot of stories for people who do not want to show their faces and they just want us to share their stories so people can comment. So we'll be sharing stories. And if you also want to share and comment on that group, it will be nice and we will appreciate it. So before we dive into this episode, we have our t-shirt and if you want to purchase it, you can get it from our website. Our website will be live very again in the next 2 weeks. And I tell you, we bringing it up on the 1st of September again, and it will be live for everyone to be able to purchase their stuff and also to book schedules and other stuff that you need to do. We are bossing it and making it bigger than it used to be. So thank you so much for always being there. Thank you for all the love that you are showing to us here at Grief to Grace. And I am so grateful. And like I would say, Grief to Grace is that platform God has given to us to be able to help those who are stuck in grief. So through our platform and especially with our storytelling, a lot of people receive their healings. And one thing God told me when I lost my husband was that I didn't heal Emmanuel in the way you wanted me to, but I will through you heal a lot of people. And God has been doing that, and I am super grateful, and I cannot but say thank you, Lord, for all that you're doing through Grief to Grace. So, um, join me as I welcome our guest today to the house. So we have Florin Marksteiner. I hope I pronounced your name
Yeah, I
properly.
know it's a German name and it's pretty hard to pronounce. It's Marksteiner, but you did it really well. And trust me, I'm used with all bunch of pronunciations, so you're good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose.
So,
Thank you.
all the way from Europe, he is sharing his story today. So, Florin's story is one of a remarkable transformation that you need to hear. And growing up in Romania under the harsh realities of communism, he found himself in a rapidly um, changing world. He experienced life on both sides of the world, and literally and figuratively, he was able to rediscover himself along the line. So, after the 1989 revolution, Florin found himself in a rapidly changing world, and eventually leading him to the entertainment industry. And also later, he moved to Canada. And today, he is back to Europe, but he's
Yes,
still doing so much. And he is a dedicated life coach, and
yes,
he is an author of books,
yes,
and he has helped countless individuals on their journey of self-discovery and also for personal growth. And today you are going to learn from Florin's story, and you can also join him. And he told me he does one-on-one, so it's not much like a group thing. So you have one-on-one personal coaching with him when you connect with him. So thank you so much, Florin, for joining us today on Grief to Grace. And your journey is so inspiring, and I cannot wait to hear your story as well as everyone listening right now. So please, can you share with us how your experiences have shaped who you are today?
of course. Thank you so much for the invitation. First of all, I wanted to say that I love how your enterprise is named Grief to Grace, and that's because let's say most of the people don't understand that we can achieve grace by deciding that. Because as you know, because you're a professional in the grief counseling, there is the 5 stages of grief. Once we understand them, and us as simple people, we cannot really understand them without help. But once we understand them, we know to get to the grace. So that's
Yeah,
wonderful. That's why I love how you named it. It's really nice.
thank
Well,
you.
as you said, my story, I'll try to focus on just one episode of grief and how I got to grace. But as you said, my story starts in Romania before 89 in communism. For those who don't know communism or just heard about communism, um, it's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to grow up in because step by step you're being brainwashed by the environment and you don't get to really know life. But communism is good just on paper because as soon as the human factor and the greed intervenes, then it goes towards tyranny and dictatorship. And as you maybe saw that on TV and from the internet back in '89 when it was the revolution in Romania, it wasn't so pretty. So that's one part. But after that, going from that society and being, I can say, hit in the face by the capitalism and the wrong understanding of capitalism, you were just like in a jungle. I'm talking about jobs. I'm talking about anything else. Anyway, moving forward about 20 years, I had the opportunity of going from the Europe to the United States and then Canada, and I got the opportunity to get married. And of course, I fell in love, and we got married. And Once we got married, I started going to church there, and it's a different kind of church. It's the Christian church, comparing with the Orthodox church, where Orthodox church is from the Old Testament, and that was a change too. And suddenly, when I was at the men's meeting in the church, it just came to me the thought, I can't wait to become a father to understand God. And how should I put it? For a youngster, because I was still a young adult at the time, it's quite a weird thought. I mean, imagine that all of them, they just laughed at me at that moment. And it's funny because I took it really serious. And not long after that, I became a father. And believe it or not, I started to understand God. And why I'm saying that is because of that, I wrote the book, which the book, maybe you have the links. It's called Our Father Understanding God. I talked with an editor and they told me I'm too bold with the title and everything because I should name it another way and everything. And I said, no, it's a download. It just came to me. This is how I'm going to name it. You're wondering where's the grief? No worries, we're gonna get to that. I promise you. Stick around. Okay, so I finally got to write the book, and the book it's a series of events, episodes of me and my two little girls. Okay, I became a father, and step by step, with every little episode, I realized how my relationship with my little ones it's exactly how it's our relationship with God. Like, I'm the father of the little ones, but He's our father, right? And I realized how the words just fly by in the Lord's Prayer, for example. When you say, Our Father who art in heaven, our Father, those two words, we just zip by them, right? Um, But we don't really understand our father. It doesn't have to be all about biological father. It has to be just our father figure, right? So I step by step I started to learn that in fact I do behave like God. I think like God because I do that to my kids. And I'll give you a simple example. For example, it says in one of the commandments to not have another gods, right? I'm the only God. And I'm not a Bible thumper, by the way. But it says I'm the only God, right? And I was thinking I would feel jealous if one of my friends comes to my place and my girls love him more than me and considers him more than me as a father. It's simple, right? There is other episodes, and I'm trying to be short here, believe me. But there is another episode, for example. My little one, the first one, when she was about 3 years old, wanted to help me to clean the backyard of walnuts because we have on the property we had walnuts at the time, and when they were starting to fall, they were almost cover up the lawn. So I would take a big pail and I would go outside, and she wanted to come and help me, and I said, "You really want to help me? Yeah, okay. You know what? If you help me, I'll give you some candy." Oh, awesome! So I'm going taking out the pail, and I said, "Listen, her name is Ella," and I said, "Ella, you just go pick up the nuts, put them in the pail. We need to fill it up." Okay, perfect. And I said, "I'll be right back." So I go back in the house and I look for the candy because we all have a stash somewhere, right? And I come back and she goes, "Daddy, I'm done." And I'm going like, "Wait a second. I don't recall to stop to eat something. I don't recall to stop and watch some TV. I didn't fall asleep for sure. Uh, when?" And I'm going like, "Okay, you know what? Okay, fine." And I'm going close. Okay, I said, "Honey, show me." So I get closer and closer to the pail, and the closer I get, the more I see the level. I see the pail, but I don't see the nuts. And I get closer, closer, closer. Guess what? I'm looking down in the pail, two nuts in there. I'm going, "Sweetie, we need to fill it up. You're not done." "Oh, okay." And she takes another two and throws them in the pail. "I'm done." I said, "No, no, no, honey. We need to fill it up. I mean, until here." And I show her the level. "Oh, okay." And she takes another two and puts them there. And she looks at me like, "I'm done." I said, "No, no, no." And I go in the shed. I bring her a little bucket and I said, "Look, fill up this one. And from this one, you go in the big pail." I'm trying to figure out ways to be easier for her, right? Try and picture this parallel in between me and my girl and God with us, right? So I said, okay, here, this is going to be easier for you. So I'm going in my way and I'm picking up nuts and I bring them with a bag and everything. And when I got back, sorry, I get back, she with the little, she's going there with a little bucket and throw them in the pail. And she goes like, I'm done. And I said, honey, no, you're not done. We need to finish it. Look, it's until here. Look, dad is doing that. You're doing that. Thank you for helping me that. But we're not finished until we're done. And she goes, oh, no, no, I'm done. And I'm going like, what do you mean you're done? I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm going like, honey, you said you want to help me. Yeah, and I help you. No, no, you said you want to help me. If you want to help me all the way, right? So then is when I realized, anyway, she got pissed and she got upset. She didn't even want candy anymore. She just went in the house because she was tired of it and not tired physically. She was just tired because we're not done. We're not finishing. And then is when I realized, oh my gosh, look how we complain at every step when God gives us a task. Every single time we complain, 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 complain. Not knowing it, the plan, that's for sure. We don't know the plan. But at every single step we complain. And God kind of smiles and goes like, you don't even know what I'm trying to do for you, you know? So that's a chapter in the book. Here's a little chapter, smaller, because I'm trying to be fast here. Where the same thing, Ella goes, Daddy, I want to play outside. We were living in a home, right? And it had front yard and backyard. And in the front yard, I built a fence because it was a road and, you know, tried to stay safe. And I said, honey, okay, I'm coming out dressed. It was fall. It was leaves out there on the ground. And I'll dress too and I'll come with you. Oh, no, no, no. I want to go by myself. Okay, 3 years old. I'm going like, okay, sure, no worries. And I said, but you don't go further than the fence. You stay here, okay? Please. Yeah, sure. I dress her up. I help her tie her shoes, and I let her go out. Our front door had window, and the window we had a shirt curtain, so you couldn't see inside, but I could see you from inside out. And of course, I say, okay, please take care of yourself. Don't hurt yourself. And I close the door. And she goes in the front yard, she plays and everything, and suddenly she falls. And when she falls, she gets up, she does herself up, and she looks around. And the moment when she looks around and she doesn't see me, she starts crying. So she didn't hurt herself because if she would have hurt herself, she would have cried right away and maybe she would bleed or something, right? And she starts crying and she looks around and she searches for me with her eyes, right? And then is when I thought of look how we look for God and we keep asking him, why did you forsake me? When in fact we want to run and we want to walk by ourselves alone, you know? But God is there behind the sheer curtain like me. You know, that's why I'm saying the book came from all these things. When I realized, oh my gosh, I do the same thing like God. He's watching me. And by the way, if she would have bleed, I would have been there in 1 second beside her, right? But I knew she's okay. So I let her be. And I let her be because I wanted to, for her to understand that it was her decision to be by herself. It was her decision to be without me. And if she fell and she hurt herself, it wasn't my fault. It was her fault. So because of that, it clicked into my mind, my gosh, God does the same thing to us. So then is when I realized life is so easy. And especially, I hope you don't mind, but especially for the guys, it's so easy to understand God because He's our father figure. And unfortunately, we are the guys and we are created in His image, but not necessarily physically. I'm talking about we can let the kids get hurt. The mothers, yes, they can grasp the concept, but they don't have the heart to let them. And it's normal. It's okay. It's normal. This is how we're built, right? But anyway, let's get to the grief. So I wrote this book, And I'm really happy to say that I helped a lot of youth and a lot of young adults, a lot of fathers to be, and a lot of fathers to become the best version of themselves and the best dads they can be, because it's so easy. We just have to mirror God, nothing else. And we mirror God because we do have it in our DNA. I mean, and I bet that now you're gonna agree with me. Kids don't come with manuals, but man, when you become a father or a mother, I don't know how, but you kind of know what you have to do. It's weird, eh? I mean, nobody's telling you, oh, you need to do that, you need to do this. People try to help you, but at their time, they didn't know what to do. And let's put it this way, we know all of us that none of the kids are the same. You know how they say that if you have two is like the sun and the moon. They are totally different. It's exactly, my kids are different from your kids, and so on. So we all have different parenting. But getting to the grief, and it's after about 12 years of marriage, I end up to get a divorce with two little girls. The moment they were 7 and 5. And for me, it was a surprise because why I'm saying it was a surprise, because I was trying to build myself up and create a career so it's better for the family and for us, because since the birth and everything, and I take it on myself. I was the total provider of our home, and we agreed on that. Upon that, she said that she wants to be a homemaker, and she came up with the idea. So I took it all upon myself. So because of that, I was writing, I was creating commercial videos, I was creating films, documentaries, short films, feature films. I was working in the film industry, even acting, yes. And at one point, I think she thought it's too much, and she didn't understood what I'm doing, and she took it as a selfish thing, because I was trying to build my career to be able, after that, later on, for the girls to be able to, let's say, cling on it and be able to make themselves their own lives, right? At least that's my explanation, because even to this day, I didn't understand why we got through a divorce. But anyway, so imagine grief, because I do love my girls. That happened 5 years ago. I do love my girls. I did love my life. I was happy. I loved my neighborhood, my town, my people in the town, my community. I was trying to get involved in everything I could to be able to create an environment for us, for me, for us, for the family, and for the girls. I was trying to be a good dad. And for me, it was a shock. I mean, let's put it this way, it's a thing when your wife catches you cheating, or you're drinking, or you're doing drugs, or you're doing something stupid. Okay. I mean, you know you're guilty, but when you are pushed to this with no fault, you don't even know what to think about the situation, about yourself. You don't know what you did wrong. It's weird. And I'm not saying, because I'm not a saint, oh my God, no. But you kind of wonder, all this time, I did my best for me and my family. Because as you know, just like when you fly, right? When they give you the emergency instructions, they tell you when something happens, first you put yourself the mask, after that you put it on others. Okay? Because I can tell you that, and this is mostly for the ladies. I think that if you understand this, your relationship is going to be way, 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 way better. Men have this embedded in themselves. Beside the thing that they need to be acknowledged all the time and what they do, this is how they're built. Exactly how the ladies love to be loved, love to be um, for them to receive love and to show them love. This is how guys love to be acknowledged and, let's say, praised for what they do. And I was thinking I didn't do enough, and I'm not the only one. But I was saying that for the ladies, if you understand this, your relationship is going to be way better. And this is how it goes. The guys, the gentlemen, the men are willing to work themselves to death for their family and for the well-being of their family. A lot of times I know you've been there, or maybe you heard about cases where the guys took 2 jobs, 3 jobs. They did volunteering, they did a lot of things that they didn't have time for the family anymore, even though they worked themselves to death for the family. So once the ladies acknowledge that and let the gentleman know that they acknowledge that, I think the relationship is going to be way different and a lot of divorces would be avoided. I wish it was my case too. So, okay, it came as a surprise for me because she kind of planned it in the sense that she told me, "Oh, you know what? Tomorrow, take a day off, relax, stay in the pajamas, have a coffee, and everything." I said, "You know what? I'll do that," because at one point, I realized I should take it easier and have more time with the family. And believe me, I started to carve more time because I realized I'm working for them. Like, yes, I do work for them. Yes, I like it to be well on all the sides and all the plans, but I want them to have me too, right? So I said, you know what, I'll take a day off. And I took the day off. In the morning, I woke up, I make myself a coffee. I come and turn on the TV and lie down on the couch, relax and everything. And she positions herself in between me and the TV and she tells me, I want you out of this house. I don't want you to be with us anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. We never had this kind of discussions. I mean, yeah, of course, like any couples, you have fights and you have disagreements and everything. It's normal, but never go on this way. And for me, it was a shock. And you'll see how I acted, and you're gonna be a little bit surprised because, from here it starts an argument and everything. But in that moment, I put the coffee down. I didn't even take a sip of the coffee and ask her, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yes." "No, no, no. You serious?" "Yes." "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Why are you asking me?" And I said, "I want you to not have regrets. Are you sure?" "Yes." And I just got closer to her and I said, "Have a nice day." So I went, I dressed, and I started to pack my things. I know, right? When it's an argument, in fact, you start going, "Hey, why? What's up with you? Are you crazy?" and everything, right? But I'll tell you why I acted like that. Is because I had the big fortune of doing a podcast about a year before this happened with a pastor. His name is Alan McIntyre, and he's just like you, Ruth. He's a counselor in grief, and because of him, I understood grief, and I understood the 5 steps of grief, the stages, and I learned a lot of things from him. And you know what I learned the best? That you cannot go around grief. It's impossible. You have to go through all the stages. So I learned that I have to go through all the stages. And that's why I said, have a nice day. Because in that moment, I accepted the situation. In that moment, I went through all 5 steps: the denial, the anger, the depression, everything. I went through them in 1 second because I knew about them. And I said, I am not going to stay in that 5 stages. I am not going to whirlpool in depression. I am not going to do this kind of thing. I'm a cerebral guy. It's tough. It's tough because your heart, it's crushed at the moment.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's going to be always a battle between the brain and the heart. But I'll tell you a secret. Every single time, the brain wins.
Hmm.
It's not the heart. So once you understand that, it's so easy to go exactly from grief to
To
grace. you know. So for me, it was a shock because trust me, as I said, I loved my life. I told her because, oh, you know what? She tells me, oh, first of all, she's a great girl. Not for nothing, I fell in love with her. Not for nothing, I've been with her for about 13 years, right?
Yeah.
And I had nothing against her. But she had some changes. And you cannot go against the grain. You can't. You
Mm.
can't. You cannot change somebody's mind. Even if you think you do it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I could have been a big fight with her. I could have done a lot of arguing. The girls were in the house. I mean, we could have done the big scandal, right? How usually happens because we're emotional people. We cannot do that. But I took it down and I accepted the situation.
Mm.
And she told me that, oh, I want you to be happy. And I told her I was happy. I was happy. I was happy with my family, with my girls, with her, with everything, with our situation, with everything. But anyway, so this is where the grief was. Now, it's been 5 years since then.
Mm.
I can brag, let's say, if you want to, but I don't like to brag. But I literally, since then, been around the world. When I'm saying
That's
around the
good.
world, I left Toronto, I end up in Europe, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Romania. I end up in Dubai, Singapore, uh, Australia, Sydney, Los Angeles, and then Toronto again. Literally, I've been around the world.
Wow, that's a good one.
And that's grace, that's God's grace. God
Yeah.
said, you know what, it's weird. Here's the thing, it's so, I don't know how to explain it. It's so weird because trust me, I would have loved to stay with my family, but if God had something for me and I had to go, I think this is how he took me. I don't understand it, but maybe that's how he decided. No, 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 you come this way. But God, my family, it's okay, no worries. So talking about grief to grace, I had the big privilege to know about grief from, as I said, from Pastor Allen. Exactly how you are, Ruth. You're helping a lot of people, and people don't understand how big of a help you are because alone they cannot do it.
They can.
Nobody can do it alone. They need at least a friend to guide them through the grief. But usually the friends, and I'm sorry, I hope you don't mind, but
Yeah.
usually the friends are the ones that put you in the whirlpool of depression. Because in a moment when something happens to you, everybody's, oh, poor you, oh man, I'm so sorry for you, I'm here for you, everybody. And because of
That's
that, we get
true.
the attention, right? So we get into
Yeah.
that cycle where you want more attention. So you go again and you show yourself sad. They go again, oh, hey, man, you're again, no worries, I'm here. And again and again and again and again. And you don't get out of the depression. And because of that, you don't get to the acceptance, which is the exit of the grief. So only by grace of God, or if God puts the grace in somebody like you, for example, that puts you in their path and they have the luck to meet you,
Hmm.
then they get out of
That's true.
depression. I know
Yeah.
people, because again, grief is not only over somebody dying, okay? Grief is about losing a house, losing a key, losing your dog somewhere or your cat, or, okay, that's grief too.
Mm.
Okay, because it might be reversible, the situation. God bless, thank you, God, it's good. I know through death it's irreversible. At least this is what we know for now. Maybe when we exit too, we're going to realize that maybe it's just an episode. We don't know yet. People
That's true.
are researching that for now.
Hmm.
But this is how I had people telling me, Florin, you're crazy. You're not reacting. What's up with you? And I told them, guys, I accepted the situation. It's no point to try and change something that I cannot change. Yes, it hurts me because I don't see my girls. By the way, it's been 5 years trying to get to see them. She blocked me a lot of times. And a lot of times threatened me that I'm not going to see them anymore and everything. So step by step, you build this, let's say, this immune system, saying, you know what, it's okay. One day
Mhm.
God is going to let me see them, no worries, and it's going to be in good terms. Me personally, I left the house which I paid for, and I left the girls with her. Why? For the girls. Again, grace. I think it's grace. I think,
Yeah.
okay. From that moment forward, I started to generate quotes. If you want, you can find them. I'll even publish a book. Somebody told me I should do that with my quotes. They are my personal quotes, my thoughts. And if you want, at the end of the podcast, you can ask me about two or three of them
Okay,
if
I
you're
will.
interested. But I don't know, it's just sayings that came to me because of life. Like, I'll tell you one short one because I don't want to take your time, but it's not wrong to be right.
Wow. It's not
So,
wrong.
uh, so I
That is
left everything, you know
true.
why? For the girls. Because I didn't want to change their place. I didn't want to change their friends, their colleagues at school, because they're in a small town and the school is right 2 blocks away. They could walk to school. They have all the people there, all the people in the town. They knew me. I've been trying to be good with everybody. So when the girls go like, "Oh, you're Florin's daughter," yeah, hi, come here. Hey, how are you? I mean, to have a good entrance everywhere, right? This is what we're trying as parents to create a path for our kids. If it's not a path in professional side, at least personal, for people to get to know your kids through you a little bit, and after that they're gonna fly in their own path. And I try to to not disturb their life. This is
Their
what I try
life.
to do. You know, um, of course, a lot of people are like, "Hey, man, you left the house, the everything." I said, "God, it's just a house. It's just a car. I'm not the wealthiest man around, but let's put it this way: it's just a house." Okay, if the house burned down, but I was able to take my family out of the house, would have been the same thing, right? So because of that, I did my best to not tell them my side of the story because I knew she's gonna tell them their side. That's why they step by step pushed further away from me in the point that right now I had the chance. Okay, I'll tell you. Sorry. So anyway, it's been 5 years since then. As I said, I've been around the world. Um, I was forced in a way to come back to Romania in 2020. In the same time with the pandemic because I had to bring my mom's ashes back to the native land. So I supposed to be here only 2 weeks, and look at me, it's about 4 years already.
Wow.
And trust me, I've been trying my best to get back, but in the meantime, because okay, when I was in Canada, I because as I said, I traveled a lot. I was like almost like a nomad. And I finally settled down. I rented an apartment. I got myself a job to be able to start another life. I got myself a car. I was doing well until the point when I had to take my mom. So now because I left my things with a friend, and now because my I had to bring my mom. Instead of being here only 2 weeks, when I had to go back to Canada, at the airport, they said I cannot fly back because of the pandemic.
Wow.
So in the meantime, I lost everything. I lost the lease on the apartment, and I lost $1,300 the deposit there. They repoed my car. Um, just a month or two ago, my friend, where I was keeping my things, told me that I don't have my things anymore because he gave them away, and he's using my computer, which was a production computer for films and everything, with all the projects in there. Because I had another documentary and two short films in there, and I told him, "Man, listen, this is theft. That's
Yeah.
not right." I said, "At least it's okay. You can use the computer if you want. I don't mind, but at least what's on the hard drives." That's my intellectual property. You cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Wow.
another grief if you want, you
That's
know.
another
But
grief.
yeah, oh, I have episodes and episodes. I told you we can talk a full week, but you see I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Think about this. I had my wife at the time, my ex, right? She asked me why I'm laughing so much. And to be honest, I didn't know the answer right on the spot, but it came to me and I said, listen, you know why I'm laughing? Is because I want to know that if I die tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I laugh today.
Wow.
So it's
That's
funny
another
because,
quote.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, because you got me with the quotes. I have to tell you
That's
one that
another quote.
it came to me in, yeah. Um, I've been to a meditation retreat. Never did that before. But you know, after the divorce, I said I need a break in my life. So I went up north to Toronto, somewhere close to Muskoka. It's a beautiful area there, and it was a meditation retreat. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I'm doing. I said I'm just going. And in the first day, they take your cell phone, and you're not allowed to talk with anybody. This is the rule,
Mm.
right? To be we, because this is the beautiful thing that I understood right on the spot, to be you with your mind. But the thing is, you weren't allowed to have anything. You weren't allowed to have a notepad or nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because uh, right then my mind started to generate quotes, and I end up to steal napkins from the kitchen where we're all eating, go to the showers and steal the marker, which everybody was writing their scheduled time for showers because it was a community there, and
Yeah.
go in my room and write my quotes. I think I took a picture of that. And here's a beautiful quote that it came to me then about the mind, that it blew my mind. I was like, it's amazing. And it's not that I'm a smart guy, it's amazing how our mind does beautiful things when you let it. So here's the quote: the mind is beautiful like a wild horse, but it's useful only tamed.
Mm. Mm.
And I
That is
think this
deep.
quote is going to be on the cover of the book because
That's really
I
deep.
told you,
Yeah.
somebody told me you should put all this in the book. And I said,
I think
how
you
to?
should.
Yeah,
I think
but
you should.
this is what I was thinking, how to put all the quotes in a book. Like, come on, you know. But anyway, I think I'll do it, right?
You need to start from
S-
somewhere because you've given
Yeah,
us like a lot of quotes
yeah,
lately, like
yeah.
just so much.
So,
Yeah, that's good.
talking about grief to grace, I think it's in us. I think eventually it's in us. As I tell everyone, our brain is like a machine. It's yes or no. It's not maybe. So, in the moment when we decide that we want to get over something, we will. In the moment when we decide that no, we want to stay stuck in this stage, we will. This is how it is. It's simple. For the ones that they've been through divorce or they are through a divorce, or somebody left you, let's say you weren't married or anything, I'll give you a little advice if you want to. If you want to, the moment when you decide to treat yourself, that doesn't mean that you spiff up and you go dating and stuff. No, no, to treat yourself, which means, let's say you've been in a relationship for 10 years and you kept stopping yourself of doing something that you would have enjoyed. I don't know, to go somewhere to watch a certain movie or whatever, something. And you didn't do it because, you know what, your spouse at the time didn't felt like you should do that because he wouldn't feel good because he would get bored beside you or whatever. If you decide to do that thing that you kept pushing away and away from you, trust me, that's a starting point of getting over grief and understanding that yes, you have to be. It's not selfish to be on the first place. Okay, it's selfish to be on the first place that but not see the others. Okay, because let's put it this way. Let's say Ruth. Let's say you make some food, right? And you make for the family. But the first one that tastes the food, it's you.
Yeah.
The first one that puts in the plate, it's you. You're
Yeah.
the first one, right? That's not selfish because eventually you made it for everybody.
That's
But you're
true.
the first one. That's it. It's simple. Once people make this difference, they're going to understand to not put themselves last all the time. Because there is another thing. A lot of times put themselves last because they hope everybody else is going to see that what they do for them. The only thing is, all the other ones, they think it's something normal. They don't see the
Yeah,
extra mile that you do it when you put yourself last.
that's true.
So we have to show them, we have to tell them, listen, look, I didn't eat today, so you can have something to eat. Oh, what do you mean? And then guess what? They're gonna go, oh, wait, no, eat together. Look, I don't care. It's a biscuit. We split it and we eat together. Because then they realize, but because there is no communication, you end up going all the way in the back and they end up going all the way in the front. The distance is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and nobody knows why.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this is what happens to moms. It happens to husbands. Sometimes it happens to kids too when their parents don't have such a good life and they step up, right? It's
Wow.
different places, different. I hope some of the viewers are resonating with what we're saying now. And they're going to understand that there is a way out and there is a simple way out. And trust me, it's the communication and putting yourself first. Once again, not selfishly, but putting yourself first, taking care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself, trust me, you can take care of the others. Why I'm saying that? I've been there too. Trust me, I've been through burnout. I don't know if you've been to this kind of situation where the alarm goes off in the morning, you wake up, your mind wakes up, but you
Hmm.
cannot open your eyes. This is
Yes.
how tired you are.
Just so
I had
tired.
times, yes, I had times when I would work all night. I was working home, thank God. I was blessed with this because I was doing video production and film production, and I was having, by the way, about the computer that I was telling you, it was a big computer for film production, okay? It wasn't just a laptop or something. And I would work until morning. Like I would hear the girls wake up around 6:37, and I would stop working, go pick them up, bring them downstairs, give them breakfast, put them at the TV to watch some cartoons and everything until their mom would wake up. And I would go turn off the computer, wait for her to wake up, and I would go to bed. Talking about the guys are willing to work themselves to death, trust me, they are willing to work themselves to death. And the guys that don't do that, because I know there is a lot of people that think, oh, he's not working, he's not doing it. No, they gave up. That's the problem. Why? Because they weren't acknowledged when they did it. That's why. That's
Hmm.
why. That's why I'm saying that communication is the
It's
best thing
very
we have. That's
important.
why we're human, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that um, it's good for us to communicate in good times and in bad times.
Hmm.
It's good for us to be able to communicate our feelings and to communicate our thoughts.
Yeah.
It's good for us when we communicate to communicate in details,
Hmm.
okay? Not to let unfinished puzzles for the other one to try to understand. Because yes, we do click together as couples, as family, as anything, as parents and kids, but 2 more seconds of detail and communication makes a big difference. Because a lot of times we get in fights because we don't really understand each other, because we let some details out of the discussion and
Hmm.
everybody understands wherever they can.
You're right. I
Yeah.
can relate with that.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah, that's
that,
true.
yeah, look at grief. Grief after the fight, right? Let's put it this way. We had it. I'm to blame too. I mean, I did it too, and I bet you did it too. Everybody's doing it. You
Everybody
fight with
do we
somebody,
do it every day.
yeah, but no, you fight with somebody, and after that you feel bad,
Hmm.
and you feel bad because you knew you could have done better. But you know,
Because you
it's
could
it's
have
the
just
adrenaline
listened.
that kicks in, right? Yeah. So yeah, this is my. I'll put it in short, in a nutshell. This is my story from grief to grace.
Wow,
Uh,
this is awesome.
yeah.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
I'm
very
really
welcome.
so
You're very
glad.
welcome.
I'm so happy that you're able to share your story today. And because not everyone will want to come out and share like you did, and it's been so transparent. And I think everyone that has been coming on the show too, because they've been really transparent, ready to share their whole heart out, because people need it. Like this aspect you're talking about, I've heard a lot about divorce and other stuff, but I got another part of it. And that is really so important because everyone's story is different and everyone's pain is different. So I can really relate with you on when you said when we were talking, you said you had a lot of grief, and it's like a whole week we'll keep talking about it. I know
Oh
we're
yeah.
definitely going to bring you back to come and
And
share
still I
those.
smile. Still I
Yeah.
smile. You know why?
Mhm.
I cannot change anything. And if I let it bother me, I'm not going to be myself anymore. So why should I let other people steal me from myself? You know? Why? Here's the thing. Sorry, I now I realize that I have to tell you this. I'm
Yeah,
writing a
it's
second
okay.
book for this. For my first one, Our Father Understanding God,
Mhm.
as I said at the beginning, I did that. I said that I can't wait to become a father to understand God. So be careful what you wish for, because now I'm writing a second book for this series where portrays how God is away from His people,
Hmm.
exactly how I am away from my kids. I have patience. I have love for them. I have everything. I'm waiting for the moment when they're gonna search for me. Think of this, what I said right now, it's like God's words. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for the moment when people are searching for me. He never pushes himself upon us. I will never push myself upon my girls. If they don't want to have a relationship with me, if they don't want to see me, it's fine by me because I want their best. I want them to be okay. I don't want them to be threatened by a forced relationship with me, you
Hmm.
know? But I can wait for the moment when we're going to rejoice, and I can wait for the moment when they're going to search for me and want to have me in their lives. So
Hmm.
this is what the book is based on, and that's why I'm saying be careful what you wish for, because I said I want to
Yeah.
understand God, and believe me now, trust me, I swear, I understand how God feels when He's away from His people. You know how we all say, oh yeah, no, God, why He let me do this and blah 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 blah. I don't care, I don't go, I don't do church, I don't do all that.
Hmm.
And God says, it's okay, no worries, I'll be patient.
Oh, be patient. Yeah. I once
So
had
yeah.
that episode, there was a time in my life, I think that was 2010, and I was like, I had everything I needed. It was just like, because things were just working all my life, things just work. I just thought it happened. So at some point, I felt it was me, my
Mm-hmm.
strength. I get everything based on my ability. And one day I said that. And I said, yes, everything I get is based on my ability because of my intelligence and everything. I tell you, from that day, God withdrew. And it took me a long time, more than 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
to realize that it was that statement I made and I remember along the line too, I also made a statement. I was like, Lord, I've been praying. I've been praying. Those prayers I've prayed, use them now. I'm not going to pray anymore. And he
You went
waited for
outside to
me.
play by yourself.
Yeah, I went outside to play, and a lot happened. And some of the things that happened, my husband also passed along the line. And when
Hmm.
everything happened, I'm like, oh, I once told God I was going out. Lord, I'm back. Please take control. So sometimes we just say
Yeah.
certain words, and these words are powerful. We really don't know how much it impacts our lives. And sometimes we just say it carelessly and we've said it and it's gone. We definitely come back and we keep doing all those things, but we never renounce those things we said at the
Yeah,
beginning. And it's still holding, it's holding
I
waters
know,
in
right?
our lives.
That's why
Yeah.
I
So,
said I'm not a Bible thumper. I told everyone I don't have theology, I don't have anything. It's just things that I felt that life is so simple and we don't see it, you know? And as I said, whenever you want, I'll be back on the podcast and we can talk
I
about episodes,
will.
another episodes of grief. And I
I
know you're not
will.
going to believe it that all happened to me. Maybe it's going to be the subject of another book.
Yeah.
Right now, I have about 4 books in the works. You can find me on Facebook. I have my author page, and of course on Amazon, you're gonna find just one book. And I do through my coaching practice, Azimuth coaching. I do something beautiful for people that want to have a change,
Mm,
and that's some coloring books that they're therapeutical.
mm,
They are with messages, especially for people that need to gain confidence, people
mm,
that need to change something in their life so it's better for themselves. As I said, you're not selfish to take care of yourself. You are not selfish. It's just you need to take care of yourself if you care about the other ones.
that's true. Wow. Thank you so much. You've
You're
been
very
so
welcome.
inspirational. Everything you've said has really resonated with me. And, when I was reading your story initially, I was like, communism. I know how deep it can be. And I've had encounters, I've had times I've spoken with people who have gone through that. And I
Hmm.
know how much in-depth grief they have. Even now, they're grown up, and some of them are old, and they still cannot forgive themselves, their community, and
It
their
has a deep root.
forefathers. Yeah,
Yes, yes, it
for
has a
what?
deep root. And I promise you that if you want to, as I said, I'll be back on the podcast whenever you need me.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about communism. And I can tell you from a kid's point of view to a teenager's point of view of the communism. And even now, looking back, it's really interesting. And I'm telling you, and I tell a lot of people, please, please, please be careful with the socialism, because socialism is just one step away from communism.
Hmm.
It's careful.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
thank
thank you so
you.
much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's
I appreciate you coming in, and I know that God has actually brought you here for a reason, and I'm one of those. So, though you shared some of your quotes, I'm still interested, and I know some people are still waiting to hear
sure,
one or
sure.
two more from you.
Okay,
So, do you want to give us like two or three?
sure. But as I said, most of the quotes are based on things that happened to me that I've seen on other people. So it's just I joke that they are just some brainwaves, right? I some thoughts, but it was beautiful because look, I have a thing: walk tall, no matter how small you are. Okay, because there
Oh,
are a lot of people that think so small about themselves and they don't see that they have value, you know.
oh,
um, there is another one that how do you expect to win a marathon when you give up at every step?
hmm,
Yeah, most of my quotes are on Instagram. I'm trying to convert them for TikTok because I've seen youth today use a lot TikTok, and I think they would it would help them.
appreciate.
I have a lot of quotes. I'm telling you, I think more than 1,000. And trust me,
Wow.
I look for them to make sure that I'm not copying anything from anywhere.
Yeah.
But no, it's really my thoughts. If you don't mind, I don't know if I can you still see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, beautiful. Because I just
Hello. Hello.
okay. Okay,
Are you
I'm
there?
back.
Okay.
I did my best, so I cannot look into. I try to look at in the phone to see for some quotes. Let me just think of another ones because now it's funny. One when you tell me that to share, they are all getting crumbled in my brain. Um. Oh, don't look down to the people that look up to you,
Hmm. That's a very powerful one. Don't look
right?
down to the people that.
And this is
Okay.
what I got from the set, from the film, because as I said, I'm acting too. Every time when I got on the set, I shook hands with all the extras, with
Hmm.
everybody. Because I'll tell you why. This is how I started too. If people understand, we start from nothing.
Yeah, you're
And when we
right.
end up to have a career and a certain status, we need to remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is how I came up with that thing. Um, oh, I have a
Wow.
lot of them. Trust me, they are on Instagram.
On Instagram. So how can people reach you on Instagram?
Just simple, my name, Florin Marksteiner. It's one word. I know it's a little bit more complicated. As I said, I'm trying to put them on Azimuth Coaching on TikTok. But here's the thing. Uh, um, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's not ugly. Wait a second. It's
Hmm.
not. It's not ugly growing old. It's ugly not knowing how.
Hmm. That's
Right?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
You can
look.
find beauty too in being old. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Look at us. We're getting more and more graceful.
Yeah.
If we look at our version from now, from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, we're different people. We're a little bit more, let's say, when Michelangelo, the big sculptor, had to make Pieta, for example, a big sculpture, David, because everybody knows about David, right? When he had to bring David out of the slab, the marble,
Hmm.
I think so, marble, no? This is how you call it. Uh, the material, because
Yeah.
being 4 years in Romania, my English is getting rusty. So yeah, marble, yeah. So to take him out from there, first he had to get out chunks, right?
Yeah.
And after that, smaller chunks, and after that, smaller chunks, and after that, he had to go in detail, and after that, at the end, he had to go and polish everything. This is
Hmm.
how we are in life too. When we're smaller, when we're younger, we have chunks on us, right? And more we get in the age, we get more refined. We learn to step more on our ego. We learn to deal in another way with situations. We learn that things that problems that we thought we had 20 years ago and it was the end of the world, now we just laugh at them and
Hmm.
so and so.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Oh,
awesome.
see, this is how the quotes come into my mind. Spend your time. Make sure you spend your time. Don't waste. No, wait a second. Ah, I lost it. It was about the time you spend it. You don't.
Waste them.
Don't kill the time, right? You
Okay.
don't waste time. You don't kill the time. And it was another term that you were saying that it was about spending. Ah, anyway, it was a good quote too. Uh, yeah,
No, it's
it just
okay.
I
Because
lost
I
it.
know a lot of people are going to go to your Instagram, like me. Definitely, I love quotes. So go there and we're gonna check. Not just going there, we should also like your page and share as much as we can because these are very fresh quotes and they are coming. They're like fresh
To
from
be honest,
you. So
thank you. To be honest, I
mhm,
put them there. You know why? Because I thought whoever stumbles into them, and I'm serious now. You can change somebody's life with one word. If that
mhm,
word comes at a certain time, in a certain situation, you might change their life, and that's why I put them there. You never know. Some people might stumble into one quote like that and say, "You know what? This is it." Because I know I did the same thing, and it's
yeah,
amazing. I have a beautiful quote, and this is from Tony Robbins that I loved it, and I took it as my life guidance, let's say. And he says this: life's about moments. Don't wait for them, create them. That's Tony Robbins. And I said, you know what? This is what I'll do,
it's
and I
about
create
moments.
moments
That's true.
because when we wait for the moments, they might not appear.
They will never appear.
Yeah,
They will
yeah.
never appear because we're waiting, and so they would never appear. So thank you so much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate. I don't want to take so much of your time because I know you already like 7 hours away from where we are, you know. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming, and I'm definitely, you know what, we're bringing him back. So
You're very
definitely
welcome. It's
coming
going to
to
be a
talk
pleasure.
about all this stuff just so much because he's shared so much, and we're bringing him back here, and he's we're going to have a part two of this, and maybe a part three, maybe a part four. You
It's going
know,
to be my pleasure. And a
thank
pleasure
you
meeting
so
you.
much.
And a
Yeah,
pleasure meeting you all.
yeah, thank you so much. I'm
You're very
so
welcome. Thank you.
grateful. I'm so grateful for all that you share. So, thank you for joining us today. But you know that I'm not going to leave you without sharing the little that I also got from this whole thing that we've talked about today. And I've listened to the quotes, I've listened to the story, I've listened to, and it really touches me because I can imagine what it's like when someone you're just in your house and somebody comes without a reason and tells you, go, I'm no longer interested. Oh, that's a grief on its own. Before we start talking about the grief that
You
comes
never
with
thought it's
it.
going to happen to you, you know. That's the worst
Yeah,
part because, as I
that's
said, if you
the
did something, at least you were guilty. At least you kind of had it
you
coming,
can,
right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
So you never thought, you just feel life is going on and everything, just the same way it is with jobs. So I'm trying to relate it with people losing their jobs too. You know, you just go to work one morning and you fight, and you're like, what did I do? You
yeah,
know. So just so much happens. Some people go to church one day, like we had someone that talked about it, and they just told them, you are excommunicated. Oh, what did I do? For what?
yeah.
You know, so you at that point you just killed that person. He's dead. He's gone. So I can really resonate with it, and I understand. And it's also similar to what I had because when my husband was ill, I didn't really know that he was going. I didn't believe, let me put it that way, because he has cancer. So everyone should imagine that I should know that he would die because he was already in stage 4. But I didn't believe because I had so much faith that God, and I heard from God what that he was going to heal him, and I held on to that. And one morning I woke up, he was gone. So
Hmm.
you can imagine how I felt, how the kids
Yeah,
felt, how we all felt. It just happened like in the twinkle of an eye, and he's gone. Why were you still lying down just like that? Oh, like
yeah.
a regular good morning, and he's gone. I saw him going, and I'm like, is that death? Is that death going? Is he going? So I can imagine, I can really resonate with you, and I know how painful it can be. So thank you for your incredible conversation. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for this journey that you've taken us through in this 1 hour. And your journey is really a testament to the power of resilience and faith, and also human spirit and capacity, that's having believing in yourself and knowing that you can still rise and you can still do so much, and now you're impacting so much in the lives of others, and that is awesome. Like I said earlier, you can connect with Florin, and he will take you through that journey from to get to a fresh start. Like
It
he
will be
said,
my pleasure to help.
yeah, on a one-on-one journey with him. And so you will not regret it. And before we close, I want to share 3 takeaways that I took from this story. And one of them is resilience through adversity. No matter how tough the condition is, there is always a way to rise above them. Then, the second one is that faith, believing yourself, or as a guiding light. It can help you move from grief to grace, and understanding that God can bring clarity and purpose to you, even in the darkest times, is very key.
Amen.
So, the third one I took is the power of helping others, because now you're not just taking it, you said, I smile. I took that part, because when you die today, you know that I smiled yesterday.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
powerful,
yeah.
lose your smile at all. So that's
Never.
key. And I think I'm taking that as a personal guide for myself and maybe for my family. Let's keep
It does
smiling.
well. Look,
Yeah.
I'll give you one minute thing, and this is for the guys. If you go to the gym,
Mhm.
go till I forgot the term, but you do an exercise until you cannot do it anymore. Like you feel it's failure. Oh, till the failure.
Mhm.
And when you hit failure, start laughing, not crazy laughing, but start laughing and do as many as you can do after that. You're going to be impressed what the mind and your willing of having a good time can do to your physique. It's unbelievable. And this is the same thing with life, you know. That's why I don't stop laughing because I
Hmm.
want to have this attitude, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. It's not so natural, but it does so well, you know, because
Yeah.
naturally we're prone to grief. Let's put it this way. That's why we have so many soap operas and all that.
Yeah, and people say I laugh a lot, and I'm so glad hearing this. Now I know that there's a guide to it, so I'll keep smiling, I'll keep laughing because it helps to uplift others. So the power of helping others by guiding and supporting others is key, and we often find our own healing when we do that. So thank you for
Amen.
joining us today. Thank you, and I will not leave you without giving us our Bible verse for today, which is from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, which said, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, the plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and to give you hope for the future." And also, there's one quote I love so much from Nelson Mandela, and he said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never failing or falling, but in rising in every fall that we make." So each time you fall, just know that you need to rise up again. Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you for joining us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for
Thank you for
always
invitation.
joining us on this Grief to Grace podcast. Thank you for the messages I get every day. Thank you for the encouragements. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the love. I'm so super grateful, and it shows me that yes, when you continue to move in the guidance of the Lord, He will move you to the next phase of your life. And that is the prayer I have for you today, that as we continue to move and continue to work in the light of God, He will move you to the next stage of your life in the name of Jesus. So don't forget my book.
Amen.
Don't forget my book. Don't forget my book. Okay, a pen that rewrites grief. So it's back on Amazon, and that's one testimony I had this morning. It's back. They took it off and they brought it back. I'm so grateful to
I'll
God
look
for
for it.
that. Yeah, so a pen that rewrites grief um is back, and today I said I was going to take off the first one and reload it again right now, immediately after this podcast. So I'm doing that right now. And a pen that rewrites group is back, and I know that as you continue to purchase this book, whether the e-copy from my website or the book paperback from Amazon or wherever, or if you need the autograph copy, just DM me and I will send it to you. Don't forget our t-shirts, and don't forget all that we do. Don't forget to send us videos and reviews, as many as we can, and also to tell us how much you love us. I am so super excited that you keep following us on our podcast. You know what? I was so shocked how much views we've gotten in the last couple of days. I'm really so grateful to you all. Thank you so much for following us, and I am grateful. So thank you. Till we meet again, don't forget to like, to follow us, to share this podcast, and to leave a comment. Don't just view, leave a comment. Share your comments in the comments below. Thank you so much. And remember, grief to grace, from being stuck to being unstuck. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you, Florin
Very
Marksteiner,
welcome.
right?
Mark
For
Steiner, yeah.
Mark
It's perfect.
Steiner. Mark Steiner, for joining us today. I love you. Thank you. God bless you.